Now that we have the basic waveforms kind of siphoned out for the first oscillator, all the same for the second and third, let's go about learning what all these other sliders and knobs do. So the first thing we'll go and touch on really quick is the phase offset. What this does, give you guys, for who don't know, just a really quick overview, touch basis on what stereo is. In your signal, you'll have what's called mono, what's called stereo. Mono signal will sound like it's coming directly from the center, so if you listen to the saw wave, it sounds like it's coming right in between your eyes. If you're listening on stereo headphones, if you're listening on computer speakers, you may not hear it as well. So I suggest at least putting some earbuds in, you fully hear the effect. So that's the mono sound, and then when you take stereo, that tends to be the wider signal. So when you switch this phase offset, widens up the sound a little bit. So that's what that knob does. The stereo detune, instead of you just shifting what's called the phase of the saw in order to give it that wide sound, it'll take multiple copies, slightly detune them, different pitches. So it'll take the main one, detune it slightly to the left and right, give it a wider field, so you'll get a different sort of stereo effect. So this was what this one sounds like. That's what those two knobs do. I would suggest maybe using one over the other. Combining both, you probably could do if you have the ears for it, but it tends to be a lot trickier because once you detune, you're already getting phase problems as it is. If you phase offset the stereo, you can get pretty complicated. You might start really screwing up your stereo spectrum all the way. So just be wary, cautious of that. Use with ease. So once you have those two knobs, let's tackle these next three knobs. This one right here is the coarse pitch. This allows you to adjust the pitch of your sound, either up an octave, down an octave, semitones, a lot bigger steps than what some of the other knobs will do off to the side. So just to give you a quick audio preview, this is what this does. So we're starting up there. If we want to go down a full octave, go to 12. Go down 2 octaves. If we want to do like steps in between, let's say we'll go down 7, or I think that's a 5th. Yep. Actually, now 3rd. I'm forgetting the technical terminology. But you're going down 5 semitones here. So you can do that. You can do all the different combinations. And you can go all the way up if you really want to. Get a really shrieky sound going. So that's what that knob does. Fine tune does the same thing here. Instead of doing whole semitone jumps, which is like 100 pitches, it adjusts the sound in cents instead. So doing the math conversion, 100 of these is equal to 1 of these. So this is just a more finer tune. So that's what that does. Panning, pretty straightforward. Either pans it to the left or the right. Again, you need headphones on, or some other sort of speakers that allow you to hear multiple signals. Allows you to pan. And that's what all these knobs do. So what you've learned, if you can master all this, you've mastered all 3 of these. You know what the other thing you need to know? This is the big volume knob here. So if you have, okay, I want to turn on the second oscillator. I want to turn that up. We'll switch it to a pulse wave. And let's turn the third one up for good measure. Some detune. And you can just mess around from there. So those are the oscillators. On the next part, we'll quickly touch on what these 2 knobs down here do. And then we'll go on dissecting what these other options allow you to do.